You were talking about the Harley Benton Club before we started the podcast. So
Exactly.
tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I was searching for on Google for forums, guitar forums, and cheap instrument forums.
Yep.
And I know Harley Benton is getting quite famous, especially in Europe. And I searched for a forum about Harley Benton, and I found them on Google, and I decided to join them. And people there are, as you expected, guitar hoarders. Some have plus 50 guitars
Oh man.
from Harley
Wow.
Benton.
Yep.
Yeah. And well, they're very, very nice, just like the folks on your forum, which are also pretty nice.
Yep.
And they're all about more affordable uh, gear than real top end guitars and amps and effects and stuff
Hmm.
like that. No, more laid back people.
Yeah. Well, that's. I mean, yeah. There's so much brand snobbery that goes along with anything
It
music
is.
related, whether or not it's
It is.
everything from the guitars and pedals, but even yeah, it doesn't even to cables and power supplies and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah, it gets ridiculous.
yeah, I have
What
some
cable are you
standards when
using?
I look for a guitar. I just have to make sure it meets my own standards, and it doesn't have to mean it says a particular name on the headstock. Like my Tokai guitars are pretty cheap, and I'm looking at the Harley Benton site here, and there's a SG style DC 580 LH, which is a left-handed SG basically, and that's 130 pounds, which would be probably 350 or maybe more than that here. I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm not too sure what the exchange rate is, but that's even more affordable than the Tokai, and it looks really good. Looks really good.
Some of their guitars are really good.
Yeah.
Indeed, they are. They are. It's because they don't have the middleman. The reason why they're so cheap, it's because they don't have the middleman.
Oh
So
yeah.
they have their own fabric, or they use fabric in China. They build them
Yep.
and they sell them.
You know what? I reckon this is where Fender will end up going soon. You notice they've yeah
They increase their prices, you know.
yeah, I have a feeling that I don't know if it'll shoot them in the foot or not, but I think eventually, like in the next 5 or so years, they'll probably just have their own. They'll probably just sell straight out of their factory online. There won't be any
They will. Yeah.
middleman. I think I sort of don't. I get why people want products in shops so people can see them and all that kind of thing, but yeah, I mean, 90% of people that buy pedals would be shopping online a lot of the time. Yeah, or, it's hard to know. Maybe the older generation might still prefer to go into shops. I know I like still going into shops, but I think there's just over the years the shops are sort of fighting an uphill battle. I guess the only thing that would concern me about buying a guitar that's inexpensive that I haven't actually physically seen is that I would assume that it might not be as nice as what I would hope. So yeah, that's where it just comes down to scouring YouTube and the forums and stuff to make sure that you're buying something that's actually going to be
Yeah,
playable and all
I'm
that kind of stuff.
following you.